Innovation doesn't start with technology. It doesn't start with brainstorming sessions. And it definitely doesn't start with sticky notes. Innovation starts when people feel safe enough to offer ideas that aren't fully formed yet. Here's a simple diagnostic question. How many ideas are actually coming into the top of your funnel? If ideas only come from senior leaders or the same two creative people, that's not an innovation problem. That's a culture signal.
Welcome to the Better Culture Podcast, where we make the clear connection between better culture and better business. This podcast is for leaders who want to build stronger teams, drive thriving companies, and enjoy your leadership role along the way. Now here's your host, Brett Hogeveen, a leadership and culture aficionado, keynote speaker, and co-founder of Better Culture.
Let's clear something up right away. No leader wakes up in the morning thinking, I hope we kill some innovation today. No one puts that in their strategy deck. No one says it out loud. And yet, every day, well-intentioned leaders tolerate and sometimes model behavior that quietly shuts innovation down. This is a Better Culture Fast Blast episode, a blast of practical leadership insights designed to get in, get useful, and get out, usually in 10 minutes or less. In this Fast Blast, we're going to look at 3 common behaviors that kill innovation faster than any budget cut ever could. They don't feel dramatic. They don't feel toxic. In fact, they often feel reasonable. And that's exactly why they're so dangerous. Before we name them, let's get one quick baseline. Innovation doesn't start with technology. It doesn't start with brainstorming sessions. And it definitely doesn't start with sticky notes. Innovation starts when people feel safe enough to offer ideas that aren't fully formed yet. Here's a simple diagnostic question. How many ideas are actually coming into the top of your funnel? If ideas only come from senior leaders or the same two creative people, that's not an innovation problem. That's a culture signal. With that in mind, let's get to the first innovation killer. The first innovation killer is having a comparability fixation. It's being fixated on what others are doing. This is when organizations spend an unhealthy amount of time asking, what are others in our industry doing? How do we compare? What's considered normal? Comparison itself isn't bad. It can be useful. But when the goal of comparison becomes matching instead of differentiating, innovation is already in trouble. Because the moment your aspiration becomes average plus, you've quietly capped your upside. Here's what comparability fixation sounds like. That's not how it's done in our industry. Or we're already aligned with our peers. Or, let's not get too far ahead of the market. Those statements sound cautious. They sound responsible. But translated honestly, they mean, let's be safe. Let's blend in. Let's not risk being wrong. And here's the uncomfortable truth. No exceptional organization was ever built by trying not to stand out. The most innovative organizations make cognitive leaps. They step out of sync. They resist the camouflage of sameness. I once worked with a leadership team that benchmarked everything. Every idea had to pass one test. Who else is doing this? Until someone finally asked, why are we so focused on keeping pace when we say we want to lead? That question changed the conversation. We stopped asking, is this normal? And started asking, is this who we want to be? That's where innovation lives. So the first killer limits innovation by keeping our eyes sideways on what others are doing. The second killer shows up when ideas finally make it into the room. The second innovation killer is what we call the yeah, butter. You know this move. Yeah, but we tried that before. Yeah, but leadership won't support this. Yeah, but what about compliance? Yeah, but that won't work here. To be fair, yeah, butters aren't always malicious. They seldom are. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's past experience. Sometimes it's burnout. Sometimes it's just habit. But intent doesn't matter. the impact is almost always the same. Conversations closed, energy drained, creativity shut down. You've seen this moment. Someone offers an idea in a meeting. It's not perfect, but it's interesting. And within 5 seconds, someone says, yeah, but here's the problem with that. And just like that, the group moves on. No curiosity, no exploration, no refinement. Innovation rarely dies dramatically. It dies quietly, one yeah, but at a time. Strong leaders don't ignore this, they interrupt it. They say things like, let's stay curious for a minute, or before we shut that down, what might work? Or that's a risk, but is it a reasonable one? They understand something critical. Most good ideas start out fragile. Yeah-butters find problems. Innovators solve them. And leaders decide which behavior gets rewarded. So far, we've seen how innovation gets limited by comparison and shut down in conversation. The third killer happens after decisions are made. And it may be the most damaging of all. The third innovation killer is called second guessing. Second guessing trains people not to take risks. Here's the leadership mistake. And I know this sounds counterintuitive, so hang with me. You can't judge the quality of a decision solely by the outcome of that decision. I'll say it again. Judging the quality of a decision based solely on the outcome is a logic error. You can't judge the quality of a decision after the fact. You can only judge the quality of a decision based on the information that was available at the time a decision had to be made. Imagine this situation. There are 3 cups. 2 contain black balls. 1 contains a red ball. You're asked to pick a cup and then guess what color the ball will be. In this case, if you choose black as your guess, you're playing the odds correctly. Remember, 2 out of the 3 balls are black, okay? Are you with me? Now, let's say when you pick black, and then when the cup is turned over, oh no, the ball is red. Does that mean you made a bad decision? Of course not. You made a sound decision based on the information available. It just didn't work out. We see this all the time in sports. A football team runs the ball on 3rd down and gets stopped. Suddenly, everybody says, oh my gosh, I knew we should have passed the ball. No, they didn't. They're confusing considering an option with deciding on one. Organizations do this constantly. A leader makes a reasonable call, the outcome disappoints. And then the message becomes, oh, we all knew that wasn't going to work. Have you seen this play out in your workplace? Leaders regularly have their decisions second-guessed after the fact. It's a terribly frustrating part of leadership. But when leaders are punished after the fact by second-guessers for reasonable risks that don't pan out, everyone starts to learn the same counterproductive lesson. Don't try new things. Don't take risks. Don't innovate. But what leaders really need to know is that innovation requires judgment and risk, not perfection. So resist the temptation to second guess the decisions your team and your company make. Your team and your company, and certainly your future level of innovation, just may thank you. So here's the Fast Blast takeaway. Innovation doesn't usually fail because of a lack of ideas. It fails because of what leaders tolerate without recognizing it. Comparability fixation teaches people to blend in. Yeah-butting teaches people to stop sharing ideas. Second guessing teaches people not to take risks. Watch what you reward. Watch what you excuse. Watch for these 3 innovation killers. They tell you exactly why innovation is stalling. So here's the question worth sitting with this week. Where might we be killing innovation? Not intentionally, but habitually. Fix that, and innovation won't need to be forced. It'll start breathing again, all on its own. Before we wrap up, I want to share something exciting. For the first time ever, Better Culture has launched a virtual leadership academy, a 12-month experience for leaders and managers who are serious about expanding their leadership skills, impact, and influence. Whether you're investing in yourself or a team of managers, this program was built for you. If you're serious about building something better, this is your next step. Learn more at betterculture.com/academy.